Alright, g'day fellas, and welcome back. This is both a live recording on Twitch, so hence why the setup looks a little bit different to people here in Twitch. Obviously, hello, you guys know what to expect. So, let's take a look here at some of the anniversary rewards that you can actually get here for participating and getting all of these festive certificates, as we can see here, for example. These festive rewards, these certificates that you can actually get, and what you can exchange them for, right? There's a lot of different options here, so might as well just talk about all of them. The first big one, straight off the way, Kushiro. We will play that in a second for you guys here on Twitch, but this is a guaranteed ship. It's classified as an epic items. So what does that mean? It means, in essence, that it's not going to be available very often, but so what it is, it's a Japanese 210 heavy cruiser. It's based on the Gummy class. It's an improved version of that. You got the exhaust smoke, you got hydro, you got, I believe it's the F3 shimmer torpedoes on it, so it's quite a decent little ship. And it's definitely something probably should be looking to pick up. That's something that I'm definitely going to be picking up myself. I mean, I've got more than enough tokens to afford the Kushiro. But it's always a case I see a lot of people asking, going ahead and saying, hey, should I go ahead and should I be picking up the Kushiro? Like, or should I maybe try and get some of the super containers? Maybe I want to get some of these commander containers here. For me, I personally like to always go for the guaranteed ship when I can, because it's guaranteed, right? You know it, you know where it is, you know how much it costs straight off the bat. And this one is for free, provided you have enough ships in your port. Super containers, yes, they do have the chance to get ships, right? That's the thing, like, do I want to get a guaranteed ship, or would I rather have the chance to get anything, even a ship, right? So, there's a lot of good ships that are hidden behind here in the super container, right? You could be looking at stuff like Kronstadt. I know we were talking about that one just before. Julius Cesare. You could be looking at getting stuff like your Kamikaze. You could be looking at getting stuff Musashi. You could be getting Georgia, Massachusetts, Smolensk, Alaska. Missouri's in here as well. You could be looking at getting stuff like Smolensk. Like, there's some very good ships in here that are potentially there if you want to grab that. There's a lot of other stuff here as well, though. For example, Immelman, a coal ship, is in here. Moskva, a coal ship. Salem, Yoshino, Napoli, Marceau, Hayate, they're all coal ships. Grosskurfürst, Malta, they're all coal ships, right? You can just get coal ships out of this as well. Not to mention, there's all of these like other tier 8s, tier 9s that you can possibly get. And all of the tier 5s to tier 7s as well, right? There's a whole lot of ships in here that you could possibly get that it's not the greatest thing in the world, right? And it's chance. So, like, even at the end of the day, like, if you're not within the pity count, like, I'm not within pity, right? So I'm not guaranteed a ship out of opening 130 of these, because that's how many we're limited to. I will get a guaranteed drop in 191 containers. I'm only getting 130, and there's a 0.03% chance of getting one of the good stuff that I'm really after, right? It's not great odds, right? It's really not. So just keep that in mind. I mean, yes, there's some nice other stuff in here as well. You're talking about your 1500 steel, your 1500 research bureau points, your blue boosters, green boosters as well. Your signals, 1000 balloons. There's some nice stuff in there, but just keep in mind some of the things you're expecting. Not quite so great, okay? Personally, I prefer getting Kushiro. Now, there's the 4 commanders here as well that we're talking about. And I'll show you the ships I got them assigned to here in port. Sutton Bing, I apologize if I butcher the name there. I really like him. He's in my Jinan. My Jinan is one of my favorite ships. Am I the greatest player in it? No, but it does hold my all-time damage record. Like 412,000 damage along those lines. If you get, say, Combat Scout here, you can get like a 20% better reload on your main guns, which is awesome. If you had 6 torpedoes, you get plus 5% to your torpedo speed. You get minus 25% to your torpedo reload booster cooldown, and you get extra charge. And then you also here, if you get 1500 potential damage, you get minus 6.5% to your consumables, reload, and preparation. He's quite good, especially between Jinan and Yu Yang. So having him in either ship, if you really like those ships, he's really quite worth it. Sansonetti is He's very strong basically in all your Italian ships, right? His main things is Confederate, you get a better main battery reload. One thing I will just quickly mention, with Bing, I apologize once again if I'm butchering that. His special like skills here, he's got consumable enhancements, so instead of like say plus, I believe it's 10% increase here, it's plus 12.5 to each of your different consumables on your cruisers. Submarines, nothing. Destroyers, though, once again, same deal here, consumable enhancements. For battleships, he actually gets improved vigilance and improved emergency repair specialist, so keep that in mind if you want to consider going for those. And then aircraft carriers, he's got this improved engine boost if you so want that improved skill. Now for Sansonetti, his improved skills. He's got this improved gun feeder, so instead of, I believe it's minus 40% to the main battery reload, he's got minus 60%, which is awesome. Aircraft carriers, he's got this, instead of, I think it's plus 4 or plus 5% torpedo aerial speed, he's got plus 7. Cruisers, he's got this Swift Fish, which is the faster torpedo reload, faster torpedo speed overall, once again improved gun feeder. Similar kind of story here when it comes to destroyers, improved gun feeder, and he's got improved Swift Fish as well. Submarines, he doesn't get anything, right? His special talents, what do they include? So getting Confederate gives you faster main battery reload, minus 15%. You get plus 8% to your main battery firing range upon destroying enemy ship, which is really quite important for a lot of these Italian ships. And then you just get a plus 10% to ship consumable action time if you just hit 100 shells, right? He is quite good in a lot of these Italian ships, yeah? Having, like Rigolo, for example, you're quite limited with, like, 11.5 kilometers range, so whatever you can do to try and bump that up. And I'm even already running here. If you don't have this skill, so if I just send him to there, you've got 9.6 kilometers of range in your Rigolo, right? It's stock. If you take this improved skill, you get 11.5 kilometers. It still is quite limited on Rigolo, but if you put Sansonetti, if you manage to get a kill with it, you get plus, I believe it's 8% straight off to your main battery range, which is pretty important for these ships. Venezia is not the most limited in the world. Like, you do have 17 kilometers range, but you also get access to your spotter, so it's not as important there. And then Colombo, well, your battleship, you've got 18.9 kilometers range, and then you've got spotter plane as well. So you don't strictly need the range on particularly Venezia or Colombo, but it is quite nice to have, particularly for this improved gun feeder. Say an enemy ship is going turning broadside, you've got snap loaded, you want to quickly switch over to using your AP rounds to just pump a broadside into your opponents, whether it be a cruiser, battleship, whatever. You're going to be able to do that and hopefully cause some massive damage against them. I mean, Colombo, we all know how stupid this thing is. I mean, you get 16 guns here. Venezia, you got 15 of these 203s as well on the ship, so being able to quickly switch ammunition is quite important. Napoli, he's quite decent there as well. I mean, you've got these two 54mm caliber guns. I mean, being able to switch quickly between your AP and your HE is also really quite important. And then, yeah, well, Loria as well. Like, he works with all of these ships, and like, especially if we've got any lower tier premiums, like the, let's say the Roma, the AL Littorio, or maybe even like your Duca de Aosta or your Abruzzi and stuff like that. Like, if you have any of those kind of ships, that he's going to help quite in that regard, especially. Just having Gunfeeder is quite a nice skill to have, and having an improved version is always really nice. Alright. Once again, I apologize if I butcher any of the names and stuff, so just putting that in advance, right? I quite like Sansonetti. He does work on a lot of ships, but some ships he's more important than others, like stuff like Golo, but I prefer having him in Colombo because, well, Colombo's broken at the moment. We all know this, right? That shouldn't come really as a shock to anybody. Helfrich, once again, apologies by butchering the name, but he's quite nice. So what's his improved skills straight off the bat? Improved demo expert, so it's plus 1.5% on cruisers, destroyers here, instead of just plus 1%. Your battleships, it's the same story here, that's improved. Aircraft carriers, there's no Dutch aircraft carriers, but just in case there happens to be in the future, it gets an improved pyrotechnician, yeah? Okay. There's no Dutch submarine, so it doesn't get any skills there. It's same as all the others, right? Here's special talents. What are we talking about here? If you get Wither, you get faster main battery reload, your airstrike reloads faster. Pretty nice. If you get this one here, Ship a Day Helfrich, what that basically means, every time you do 50k damage, so 50, 100k, and 150,000 damage, you're going to get a plus 1.97% bonus to your damage, and that caps at a maximum of plus 6%, right? Because it only works up to 150,000 damage, so say you're doing 200k, you're not going to get an additional bonus there. Which is quite nice, so keep stacking your damage and improving it as you go along. And then you got this one here, should I try pronouncing it? Okay. Pugno Pro Patria. I don't know how you say it, so I apologize. Pugno Pro Patria. If you manage to get 50 successful bomb hits on your opponents, you're going to not only get an additional number of airstrikes, +1, but you also get additional aircraft, I believe, within the squadron of +3. I really like him here on Utrecht, because Utrecht, unlike something like the Gurn-Lu, you're able to get your bombs out a lot faster. He also works really quite nicely in your Willem de Eerst. He works as well in stuff like your Trump. He also can go easily in stuff like your D7 Provincian. He works quite well in your Friesland / no, Groningen. Sorry, Groningen is the one here in the Dutch tree. So he works quite well in all of those ships. Okay, I've just got him trained to Utrecht because if you put him in Gurn-Lu, particularly for the legendary mod, even though like yes you can technically pop it, it's a lot harder to do. Even if you do have the legendary mod, it's harder to do so. Just because these do take a bit longer to reload and they're quite wider, so it's not as easy to get 50 bomb hits in this one, but I want to do it at some point, hopefully, just to get 4 stacks of flights, right? Because legendary mod gives you 3 strikes here with Gurn-Lu, but if you manage to get the additional one, you can get up to 4, and that seems funny to me. If you manage to stack it up, especially if you go up, I don't know, like against an Essex or something, you send 4 strikes at it, you're gonna have, alright, good. That's something I hope to do at some point, but the day is not today. The final commander here is, once again, and also quite a stupid ship, is going to be Lisboa, and I've got him put in my Libertad. So what's his improved skills we're looking at here? For destroyers, he's got improved survivability expert, same deal for the cruisers here. Battleships, he's got this improved brisk, so you've got, instead of plus, I believe it's 10% speed when undetected, he's got plus 12.5%. Aircraft carriers, once again, there's no Pan-American aircraft carriers, but we're looking here at improved survivability expert. I think it's plus 30 instead of plus 25 or 20 per tier, I can't remember off the top of my head, but there you go. And nothing for submarines, and there's no Pan-American submarines. Here's special talents here. We're looking at relentless firing, right? Hitting enemy ships with either your main or secondary shells 175 times, which feels like a weird number, but anyways, you get 5% to improve 5% to your reload. Your torpedoes reload 10% faster, and your secondary batteries, most importantly, reload 22.5% faster. Because you have these massive, on the side, 234mm caliber guns, which are, they hit like a truck. They really hit like a truck. And being able to reload those faster, quite significantly faster as well, is going to help you do a lot of damage to your opponents very, very quickly. His other main one here is going to be this Master and Commander. So what this does is, upon completing your combat instructions twice, because yes, this thing does get combat instructions, which, if we go back to the ship, upon completing the requirements here, which is either get 1000 HP of potential damage or hitting an enemy ship with your main battery shells, and complete that to 100%, you get plus 20% to your secondary battery range. You get a minus 20% to your main battery reload. You get an extra 30% damage on your secondaries, just like, boop, there you go, extra damage. So being able to improve that further, well, once you pop that twice, it becomes easier to proc this again, because you get a just flat out 20% bonus to reusing your combat instructions again and again in the future. So, and there's as well like a plus 5% to your speed, but that's nothing in comparison, right? Libertad and Colombo, they're quite stupid at the moment, so getting you getting Lisboa, for example, and putting him in Libertad, that's quite a nice one to be able to finish off. I really like Sazembing. He probably works better in Yu Yang, in my opinion. But if you want to try and get him, go for that, absolutely. He will work well in Jinan. I mean, you can see I've got him trained for that, and especially if you can get a lot of torpedoes away against your opponents, you're going to be just laughing all the way to the bank. Utrecht here, if you can get a lot of these bomb drops off against your opponents, and getting that additional strike, that helps out quite a lot. I've popped it a few times. I've done a couple of videos on Utrecht. This thing is hilarious. Go check those out. Like, I'll probably leave a link in the description and stuff. And then, if you really love Rigolo, if you absolutely love Rigolo, I would say get Sansonetti for him. Otherwise, like Colombo and stuff, I don't find him to be quite as necessary, but he's still quite good to have. So, if we go back and take a look at the different items here that we can pick up, there is as well, if you particularly love a particular tier 10, you can get a bonus package here. That costs you 1500, so you can absolutely grab one of those as well. Alright? Plus some blue boosters and some other things down here as well. So, personally for me, my priority is always going to get the ship first. Yeah? Grab the ship first, then either the super containers, right? Or whichever commander you want. And once, and I'll just like reiterate this, this depends on the type of player you are. It depends what you like and what you're after. I've just spoken about each of the different nuances between some of these different ships and some of these different commanders. It depends what you like and what you're after. If you really like slamming torpedoes into your opponents, you're going to be wanting to probably pick up the Southern Bing one. If you really want to improve your secondaries and your kind of batteries and stuff, you want to be looking here at the Paso de Patria one, which is going to give you Lisboa. If you really like your Dutch airstrikes and you want to just enhance that gameplay a little bit further, you want your finest hour, which is going to give you Konrad Helfrich. And if you just want to go ahead and grab Sansonetti to improve like any of your Italian ships, you want to be grabbing the Resolute and Rapid, right? Just prioritize whichever ones you want to. One thing I will note though, right, is some of these containers are already currently available in the armory for coal. Okay, so if we just take a look here in the containers, right, Age of Sazen Bing, right, you can already obtain this one for coal. You don't necessarily need to buy it here, but it is obviously an easier way to do so instead of spending coal. Resolute and Rapid, this one is also available here for coal. You can pick it up that way, and it's been available for quite some time. The Battle of Paso de Patria, same story. That one's been around, not quite as long, but it's been around there as well. The only one that you're missing out of all of these containers here is going to be this finest hour. Okay? So, if you were wanting to get all of these commanders, but you're not sure which one you want to get, you're torn between all four of them, target probably the finest hour one first, because they're the only containers that are not currently in the armory. Are they going to appear in the armory at some point? Probably, and very likely they will. But at this current moment in time, there is nothing there. Okay, so just have a look at picking up those. If you have all the commanders like I do, then just probably pick up like the bonus package, pick up some of these rare economic bonuses, and go from there. Okay. Anyways, thank you guys for listening to my just ongoing talking and spiel about this. I'm going to play some Kushiro now on stream. If you're watching from YouTube, link to my Twitch and stuff down below. You can check me out whenever I go live and stuff, which is normally Fridays, at least at this moment. Anyhow, to YouTube, thank you guys, and I'll catch you guys next time.